Hello, hello. It's Topeman X1 here with a video on the retracting Bolide set, excuse me. And this is just a couple of ideas, a team comp, my own personal team comp builds and ideas, and why I think this is a really strong team, especially if you have to fight in tight spaces, have trouble dodging or managing your stamina, or just like to have a team full of waifus. Without further ado, here we go. So, starting with Ningguang, she is my all-rounder. She defends, she creates shields, which is more damage mitigation. She does damage, she heals, and she's just cool. So, the weapon that I chose for her will be the Prototype Malice, typically her support weapon, right? I chose to put a Noblest set on her because she ults like no one's business. Of course, geo damage, attack, and crit damage, just so she can, of course, still do the sub DPS build, but because I'm not in an archaic Petra build, or because my build isn't necessarily giving me extra attack, she's not going to do the damage that she could necessarily do with another set on, right? So she is in a support role, so that's okay. But she still will do damage. She will definitely be making lots of elemental particles for herself and the entire team. So she's really awesome in the first spot here, and is just basically I have a team in the order that I'll be cycling through them to fight with, essentially. And so on this team composition, Ningguang will be out almost as long as Beidou, who is the main DPS for this team. Constellations are not important. If you decide to use this team, or if you know anything about Ningguang, every character gets stronger with more constellations. This team is no exception. Her talents are only really important in this guide in so much as the way that you use them, right? So if you've ever watched the Ningguang guide, you know there's a special way, she has a special cancel. I'm not sure if MiHoYo has patched it out by now, but I still find myself trying to use that cancel, which is holding a directional while spamming her normal attack and making sure that within 2 to 3 normal attacks, you're using a charge attack to really maximize her damage. Making sure to use the Jade Screen and going through it for the additional power that you get, right? An additional geo damage bonus, and then just knowing when to use your Star Shatter in battle. So that is really how the talents are important here. And so primarily I'm going to be using her, of course, to set up her Jade Screen, hit stuff. I want shields. I want as many shields on the field as possible, so I'm going to be spamming my Jade Screen, using it, going through it for damage, really like seeing how I should switch out. Typically there's an order I use to switch, but depending on what is there, or depending on what your gear is, who can take a hit should you mess up, you may have to switch accordingly. So make sure to keep that in mind. Okay, next is Diona. Now, she is a support for me on this team. I'm actually thinking about also putting her on a Retracting Bolide set. The entire team could actually go on a Retracting Bolide set, and there would be no problems here. However, I feel like I wanted to optimize it a bit more for the way that I play in particular. So for her, I did chose to go with the Favonius Foe, which has the energy recharge main stat. She needs it. She has a deep talent pool. It takes about 80 cost just to get what you need to put her ult out there, and then it lasts about 12 seconds. And so in order to keep it going on, to keep it spamming, to keep the reactions happening, you definitely have to have her out, or she needs to have energy recharge main stat somewhere on her gear. Next to her artifacts, I chose to go with primarily energy recharge and then healing effectiveness. Once again, she's support. She does a decent amount of healing on her own, but even with these artifacts being as low as they are, she still heals for over 1,000 on a tick, right? So once she has enough HP, once all the gear has all of its resources, she's going to be healing for a significant amount, and then if I'm playing it right, she'll be dropping her ult pretty much every other like rotation that I go through. So if I go through each character and they play their role, every other rotation Diona will be dropping her ult. So and that is really really helpful for this team, especially because a lot of damage will come from that. And then I'll also talk about just how you can change out one character to really change the reactions that you're after, and of course maximize the damage or the utility that you're after with the team, of course. So Now Noelle, she is a sleeper. There's plenty of videos out there right now, Noelle DPS, but typically you don't see Noelle as a support because she doesn't make reactions, so why would you use her as support? She doesn't make reactions, but she does gather elemental energy for people, especially when there are two Geos on the team. So having another Geo on the team, I plan on putting Zhongli in this spot, but you can also put another element in this spot. But for the Retracting Bolide focus, right, two Geos just adds more power, like just straight up. The Geo Resonance just gives you more shield strength and just adds power when you have a shield on, right? So, which is also what the Retracting Bolide set does. And then on top of the damage mitigation that Noelle herself provides, in addition to healing, and just the fact that she can break shields and cause like actually when I pop her ult and I'm swinging, it doesn't matter what element shield it is, with the exception of like I think even earth shields get destroyed, right? She swings through it, and it's pretty fantastic. She's really utility here, but you can make her the primary DPS of this team if you so choose. So, Retracting Bolide set is what's on her. I have the Skyrider Greatsword, which is one of her prescribed weapons, but it is not the best weapon for her. Once again, trying to make her your main DPS, then consider your options. This set, I mean, she has a shield. It's her E. She's Geo. She's going to be doing Crystallize if I pop her ult. There's another Geo person on the team. There's the Diona on the team. So she could very easily take the main DPS spot of this team, and you wouldn't miss a beat. But once again, I chose Beidou. So that's just the way that she heals. So I primarily switch to her. Just pop her ult, switch her out. Pop her shield, switch her out. If they got a bunch of shields on, and Beidou's on cooldown, I'll switch to her, pop her ult, get some additional healing, and then also just like get rid of the stuff that's in my way, get rid of shields, cause reactions as necessary, and then once everything is nice and open, bring in Beidou, bring down the hammer kind of type thing. So, for anyone who's not familiar with her talents, of course she has. She's pretty much all normal in charge attack. Her charge attack spins her around like a top, and can be quite effective if she's built properly. The breastplate, of course, just basically puts on a shield around her, and then it also does a little bit of geo damage as well. So, in addition to absorption, and she heals while she has the shield up, I believe, and then sweeping time. She just gets a huge weapon, and she's just swinging. It's fantastic. So just in case you weren't familiar with Noelle. So finally, Beidou. Our main DPS. She has a bell, keeping with the shield theme, and this just adds an extra 15% increased damage. Although the cooldown is about 30 seconds, because your shield lasts about 10 seconds, right? So. That's a bit of a pain, but with the rest of the team, if done properly, you'll always be in the shield, so it's nothing to worry about in particular. This is just a weapon that keeps with the theme. If you're looking to like go even harder on damage, use whatever her prescribed claymore is, and you'll still benefit from this team greatly. This was just something I liked. I like the aesthetic of this. It's just a personal thing. Retracting Bolide set: attack, physical damage, crit, chance. And then just the stats that I felt like getting. Constellations are not important, but the team does improve with constellations. And then the talent, having the bell there with the HP main stat actually gives me a bit of an advantage, because I can take bigger boss hits with my Beidou being having more than just like 16k HP. She actually has over 20k. So, but of course you can pump it, push it if you want to. You can still go pump her HP and do like electro damage and do some crazy counters if you wish, with some crit damage. But it just depends on your armor and what you want to do. But after this, we're going to show the team off, and then also just talk about some considerations, and what else you can do with this team, how you can change it for you or make it better, or just optimize it for whatever your purpose is. So. So, this team is a simple one. I just tried to maximize on the shields, and I really like the idea of like using Geo. I wasn't a believer before, but after using it, it's pretty cool. There's still a lot of room to grow on this team, so the damage, depending on where your gear is, might be phenomenal. So check it out. The team can be changed and optimized. Noelle here is the piece that can really be changed. If you can add a nice water reaction, Genq, Barbara, Childe, they will destroy Pyramid shields. They will cause freeze. You will get the shatter reaction from both Beidou and Ningguang. So water here is a really powerful add. You can go fire for melt if you so choose, and overload reactions, of course. Anemo doesn't really add anything to this team. It's just kind of there as something you want to use. If you got like a Venti or something, that's up to you, but it's not really super important. So water, maybe an additional ice character, or another fire character will probably be your best changes and additions that you can get with this team, and you can really use it to optimize. And it doesn't matter. You can put this entire team in a Retracting Bolide set and get some really nice damage across the board while still having everyone like fulfill their support role. In closing, Retracting Bolide set is versatile. You can throw it on a lot of different characters and get some nice damage as long as you know how to put shields on, or you have gimmicks with shields, skills with shields. It's just shield palooza basically. So enjoy yourself. Hope you try it out. Like, comment, and subscribe. Primarily commenting. I want to see what you guys think about these videos. I hope it is at least constructive. Yeah, especially if you're going to criticize. But have a good night. Take care. Oyasumi nasai. Peace.